Harriet stood by her lingerie drawer, her husband John brushing his teeth in the nearby bathroom as they prepared for bed. They had just returned from a dinner party with friends in their safe, close-knit neighborhood. Their 10-year-old son, Timmy, was asleep in his room. Since he turned 8, they felt comfortable leaving him alone for short periods when they were nearby, confident in the security of their community. Everything seemed fine when they got home, but as Harriet folded her slip to place it back in the drawer, something fell off. Her bras and panties appeared untouched, but her slips were not. The top slip was sloppily folded, unlike her meticulous habit. Unfurling it, she confirmed it had been disturbed. Timmy must have touched it. There was no one else in the house. Assuming it was a fleeting curiosity, Harriet brushed it off, hoping it was a one-time occurrence. But 3 weeks later, after a bridge night with friends, she found her dresser drawer slightly ajar, a detail her obsessive nature wouldn't overlook. Inspecting it, she noticed her bras, panties, and slips had been handled. In the closet, a rarely worn pink sundress hung askew. Shocked, Harriet sat on the bed, her mind racing. When John entered and asked what was wrong, she dismissed it as an upset stomach, unwilling to share her discovery. She feared John's reaction would be explosive and decided to handle it alone. Determined to understand Timmy's actions, Harriet purchased a small wireless spy camera from an electronics store, learning its functions meticulously. While John was at work and Timmy at school, she set it up atop a picture frame in her bedroom, angled to capture the bed and dresser. She reassured herself this wasn't spying, not like placing it in Timmy's room. She hoped it would reveal nothing alarming. That Tuesday, when Harriet worked part-time at the school district until 5, Timmy was home alone after school. She activated the camera to record from 3 o'clock. Returning home, she avoided checking the footage immediately, wary of being caught by John or Timmy. The next morning, alone in the house, she played the video. For 15 minutes, the room was still. Then, Timmy entered, naked, tiptoeing and whispering "Mom," to ensure he was alone. Harriet's heart ached seeing his small, thin frame, his body unchanged since she last saw him undressed years ago. Timmy approached her dresser, opened the bra and panty drawer, and rummaged with an excitement akin to discovering treasure. He selected a pink bra, one Harriet hadn't worn in years due to its tight B-cup fit, and clumsily put it on, stuffing panties into the cups. Next, he chose a faded pink panty from the bottom of the pile, slipping it on, his small form barely stretching the fabric. He then opened the hosiery drawer, pulling out an old girdle with a satin front panel and garters. After zipping it up, he lay on the bed, arms crossed, looking serene yet fragile, like a girl in her mother's clothes. Harriet's eyes welled up. She had expected something sexual, but Timmy's expression was blissful, not lustful. He wasn't seeking a thrill, he was embodying a girl. Later, Timmy donned the pink sundress from the closet and lay back down, tears streaming as he cried softly, dabbing his eyes with a tissue. He seemed to converse with an imaginary friend, his hands moving gracefully, delicate, feminine hands, Harriet noted. He knelt by the bed, praying, "Please, God, make me a girl. I'll do anything." His small, pleading voice broke Harriet's heart. He carefully returned everything to its place and left. Harriet reflected on raising Timmy. She had briefly hoped for a girl during pregnancy, but adored her son from the moment she held him. John was an engaged father, and Timmy wasn't overly attached to her, though he was sensitive, crying easily like some girls. Unsure how to proceed, Harriet confided in her sister Ruth, a childless career woman in fashion who shared a special bond with Timmy. Over lunch, Harriet recounted the drawer incidents and the camera footage, fighting tears. Ruth, stunned, agreed John shouldn't be told yet, as his reaction might be harsh. She suggested coaxing Timmy to confess voluntarily, shifting his actions from secrecy to seeking support. They devised a plan. Harriet and John would take a second honeymoon, leaving Timmy with Ruth during spring break. Ruth would catch him cross-dressing, gently confronting him to encourage honesty without parental judgment. During their trip, Timmy stayed with Ruth, enjoying museum visits and movies. On Monday, Ruth pretended to leave for work, returning early to catch Timmy. Entering her apartment quietly, she found her bedroom door ajar. Calling out innocently, she pushed it open to find Timmy on her bed in her bra and ruffled blue panties, a slip nearby. He shrieked, curling into a ball, sobbing. Ruth sternly addressed his invasion of her privacy, demanding he dress and meet her in the living room. There, she expressed disappointment in his sneaking, not the cross-dressing itself. Timmy admitted to wearing his mother's clothes too, unable to resist the happiness it brought. Ruth proposed a deal. If he ever felt compelled to cross-dress again, he must confess to Harriet first. If he stopped, she'd keep a secret. Timmy promised, though both knew stopping was unlikely. Their relationship soon returned to its warm norm, and Ruth reassured him of her love, urging him to confide in Harriet if the urge returned. Back from her trip, Harriet learned of the plan's success. They awaited Timmy's confession, hoping he'd open up. Weeks passed with no drawer invasions, though Harriet saw Timmy's struggle on camera, standing before her dresser, but leaving untouched. One evening, Ruth texted urgently. Timmy had called, admitting he felt like a girl and needed to confess. Harriet braced for the conversation. The next day, Timmy came home distraught. Sitting with Harriet, he confessed to sneaking into her and Ruth's drawers, wearing their bras and panties. He explained feeling like a girl, believing God made a mistake with his body. Harriet, moved, suggested God might create special people who are both girl and boy. Timmy admitted the clothes made him feel happy and whole, not a boy. Harriet promised to consider his desire to dress as a girl, stipulating secrecy from John and no dressing outside the house. Consulting Ruth, Harriet decided to buy Timmy girls' clothes, reasoning his identity was fixed and denying it would cause harm. They shopped online at JCPenney, selecting beginner bras, colorful bikini panties, socks, skirts, tops, sandals, and a pink organza dress with tulle. Timmy was ecstatic, and Harriet felt a joy akin to gaining a daughter. When the clothes arrived, she laid them on Timmy's bed. He tried on the organza dress, struggling comically with the bra until Harriet guided him. Their laughter bonded them, and Harriet relished this new mother-daughter dynamic. As Timmy embraced his girl identity at home, Harriet worried about John discovering it, especially during a week-long business trip when Ruth visited. Timmy, in his organza dress and makeup, charmed Ruth, who saw him as a natural girl. They spent the week doing girl things indoors, but Harriet feared Timmy's feminine mannerisms were becoming too ingrained to hide from John. Upon John's return, Timmy struggled to act boyish, and Harriet saw the strain of his dual life. Fearing puberty's impact, she decided John must know to plan for Timmy's future, possibly hormone therapy. At dinner, Timmy slipped, acting overtly feminine. John confronted him, and Harriet admitted the truth, sparking a heated argument. John, feeling betrayed, accused Harriet of turning Timmy into a girl. He took Timmy's clothes to the garage, threatening divorce and custody. John left, leaving Harriet and Timmy reeling. Timmy, blaming himself, stopped dressing up, but Harriet encouraged him to continue, affirming his identity. John's lawyer issued an ultimatum: stop enabling Timmy's transsexual behavior, or face divorce and custody loss. Harriet, supported by Ruth, refused to back down, hiring a lawyer who assured her John's case was weak but warned of emotional tolls. During weekend visits with John, Timmy suppressed his femininity, but the tension was palpable. In a tearful moment, Timmy apologized for the family's rift, but John insisted Harriet's enabling caused it. At the court hearing, Harriet's lawyer advised Timmy to appear as a boy to counter John's claims. However, Ruth and Timmy decided he should wear his organza dress to show his true self, believing it would sway John. In court, Timmy's entrance in the dress stunned everyone, including Judge Bookbinder, who mistook him for a girl. Shocked, the judge ordered John, Harriet, and Timmy to resolve their differences privately, warning of regret if they didn't. In a conference room, Timmy's tearful embrace melted John's resistance. He apologized, and the family reconciled, agreeing to support Timmy's identity. Back home, with Ruth present, John embraced Timmy as his little girl, acknowledging the work ahead. Harriet felt relief, knowing they'd navigate this journey together, Timmy's happiness at the core.